You wake up with it still on you. Not the story, the feeling. A dream that was too vivid, too specific, too aimed at you. A door you couldn't open. A room flooding. A voice that wouldn't come out. A person you haven't thought about in years, staring like they know something. And then the usual loop starts. You try to interpret. You search for meanings. You build theories. But nothing changes. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't work with dreams. They collect them. They turn dreams into content, into entertainment, into symbolism addiction. And the dream keeps coming back. Because the dream isn't asking to be understood. It's trying to move something in you. Tonight, I want to give you one question that cuts through the interpretation trap. One question that turns any dream into a measurable shift in real life, without therapy speak, without mystical fluff, without pretending the dream is guidance. And I'm going to connect it to a clean Hermetic map 7 principles that explain why dreams repeat, why certain symbols won't leave you alone, and how to seal the change so the dream doesn't need to shout again next month. But first, we need to name the real problem. Why dream interpretation usually fails. Most dream talk dies in one of two places. Place 1, the dictionary. Someone tells you a snake always means this. Teeth always means that. Water always means something else. That approach feels safe because it's simple, but it turns your dream into a generic riddle and you into a spectator. Place 2, the story. You replay the dream like a movie and you ask, what does it mean about my life? And you end up with a beautifully written explanation that changes nothing. Dreams don't repeat because you lack information. Dreams repeat because you avoid ownership. And ownership is not a feeling. Ownership is an action. So here's the shift. Stop treating the dream as a symbol puzzle. Treat it as a pressure report. A dream is often the unconscious showing you a split. What you say you are versus what you actually do. What you want versus what you allow. What you present versus what you refuse to meet. That's shadow territory. Not evil announced life. Now we're ready for the core. The one question. Here it is. This is the question. What is the smallest real-world action that would make this dream unnecessary? Not, what does it mean? Not, why did I dream this? Not, what is the symbol supposed to tell me? The smallest action, real world, that would make the dream unnecessary. Because repeating dreams and repeating symbols often function like this. The psyche keeps presenting the same theme until you reclaim what was split off. If you only interpret, nothing is reclaimed. If you take action, the system updates. That question forces a different kind of honesty. A dream about a locked door? The smallest action might be admitting what you want, out loud to yourself, or making the call you've delayed, or setting the boundary you keep thinking about. A dream about being chased. The smallest action might be one confrontation you've been dodging clean and contained, or one decision you keep postponing because it would change your identity. A dream about losing your voice? The smallest action might be one sentence you've been swallowing in the name of peace. The dream doesn't need a poem. It needs a move. Now, let's make this even sharper by using a Hermetic frame 7 principles as 7 lenses for dream work. Not as religion, as mechanics. The 7 lenses that decode any dream. I'm going to give you 7 lenses. Each one answers a different question about the dream. You don't need all 7 every time, but they keep you out of the 2 traps, dictionary obsession and story obsession. Lens 1, mentalism. A dream is mind work, not fate. Start here. The dream is generated by mind, not the universe, not external permission, not prophecy. So the first move is simple. Treat the dream as an internal message written in your own symbolic language. That keeps you grounded, and it keeps you responsible. If the dream is mind work, then your leverage is also in mind work. Attention, meaning, decision. Lens 2 Correspondence. As within, so without. Now ask, where is this happening in waking life? A dream is often a mirror. The outer plot is not the point. The inner pattern is. A flooded room might map to, I'm containing emotion until it spills. A crumbling house might map to, my structure is failing. A forgotten child might map to, a part of me has been neglected. Correspondence stops you from getting lost in literal details and pulls you into the relevant domain. Work, relationship, identity, body, purpose, fear, ambition. It also reveals why certain dreams show up right before you make a choice. Because your inner state is approaching a threshold, and the dream mirrors the tension. Lens 3. Vibration. The emotional charge is the signal. Forget the symbol for a second. Track the charge. What was the dominant frequency of the dream? Fear, shame, relief, longing, rage, grief, awe? The emotion is not decoration. It's the tether. Most people try to decode the image first. But the image is often just the container for emotion you avoid during the day. When you name the emotional charge, you identify what's been disowned. And that takes you straight to shadow. Lens 4. Polarity. Find the disowned opposite. Every shadow split has two poles. You cling to one consciously and exile the other. If you insist you're the calm one, the dream may bring anger, pursuit, threat. If you insist you're logical, the dream may bring intuition, chaos, risk. If you insist you're nice, the dream may bring cruelty, selfishness, refusal. If you insist you're independent, the dream may bring need, receiving, vulnerability. If you insist you're spiritual, the dream may bring desire, status, money, power. Polarity is a brutal dream lens because it points at the trait you don't want to claim. And once you see the disowned pole, the one question becomes obvious. What small action would prove I'm owning that pole instead of pretending it isn't there? Lens 5 Rhythm. Why it repeats when it spikes. Dreams have rhythm. If the same theme repeats or returns in cycles, that's not random. It's a pendulum, a pattern trying to resolve. Asked, when does this dream spike? Often it spikes when you're about to step into visibility, when you're close to committing, when you're about to leave something familiar, when you're tired of maintaining the split. Rhythm explains why you can have weeks of silence and a cluster of intense dreams. The psyche pushes harder when the old identity is threatened. The more the dream repeats, the more likely it's not asking for more interpretation. It's asking for a decision. Lens 6. Cause and effect. Identify the hidden sentence running you. This is where dreams become practical. Behind most repeating dream patterns is a sentence you didn't choose. If I speak, I lose love. If I succeed, I become a target. If I relax, everything collapses. If I commit, I lose freedom. If I'm seen, I'll be rejected. Dreams often dramatize that sentence. A dream of being exposed in public can be the sentence. If they see the real me, I'm finished. A dream of missing a train can be the sentence. If I move forward, I can't go back. A dream of a collapsing building can be the sentence. My structure can't hold. Cause and effect is the lens that turns mysticism into mechanics. If you find the sentence, you find the cause. If you change the cause, the outer pattern changes over time. And the smallest action that makes the dream unnecessary is usually the first crack in that sentence. Lens 7. Gender. The inner dynamic of doing versus receiving. This one is misunderstood, so let's keep it clean. Gender here isn't about identity politics. It's about polarity inside you. Structure and flow, direction and receptivity, assertion and surrender. Many dreams are conflicts between these forces. A dream where you're endlessly fixing things can be an overgrown doing principle. Control, rigidity, perfection. A dream where you're swept away can be an overgrown receiving principle. Passivity, collapse, helplessness. Sometimes the dream is asking for the missing force. Not "be softer" as a slogan, but one real adjustment, one boundary, one refusal, one request, one commitment, one act of honesty. Now we have the full map. But you might be thinking, okay, how do I apply this without turning it into homework? So I'm going to give you 3 dream case files, and each one ends with the one question, so you can feel how fast it becomes actionable. Case file 1, the locked door. You dream you're in a place you recognize, but there's a door that won't open. You try keys, you push, you panic, and you wake up frustrated. Dictionary thinking says, a door means opportunity. Story thinking says, maybe I'm blocked. The Hermetic lenses give you clarity. Correspondence. Where in life are you not entering what you want? Vibration, frustration, fear, urgency. Polarity. You're clinging to safety, exiling risk. Cause. If I walk through, I can't pretend anymore. Now the one question. What is the smallest real-world action that would make this dream unnecessary? Not quit your job tomorrow. Smaller. Measurable. It might be sending the message you keep drafting. It might be setting one boundary that ends a leak. It might be applying once, just once, so you stop fantasizing and start moving. If you do that, you've changed the chain. And dreams respond to changed chains. Case file 2, the missing voice. You dream you need to speak, but no sound comes out. Or you're trying to shout, and your throat fails. This one is common because it hits a universal split, truth versus belonging. Correspondence. Where are you self-editing to stay liked? Vibration, shame, fear, tension. Cause. If I speak, I lose love. Polarity. Peacekeeper versus truth teller. Now the one question. What is the smallest real-world action that would make this dream unnecessary? It might be one sentence you say cleanly. Not a performance, not a fight. A sentence. I don't agree. I'm not available for that. I need time. That doesn't work for me. Dreams love small truths because small truths break big spells. Case file 3, the dark figure. You see a figure in the dream. Not necessarily evil, just intense, unknown. You avoid it. You run, or you wake up mid-dream. People either dramatize this as a bad omen, or they romanticize it as a spiritual visitor. Here's the clean approach. This is often shadow and unknown force. Correspondence. What instinct are you suppressing? Vibration. Fear mixed with fascination. Polarity. Good versus powerful. Cause. If I own this, I won't be who I'm supposed to be. Now the one question. What is the smallest real-world action that would make this dream unnecessary? Sometimes it's permission. Permission to want what you want. Permission to be ambitious. Permission to be firm. Permission to be seen. But permission only becomes real when it shows up as behavior. One conversation where you stop apologizing for existing. One decision where you stop negotiating with your own truth. Now we've done the decoding. But there's one more layer that matters if you care about retention in your real life. Sealing. Because many people decode dreams and then repeat the same loop anyway. So the dream returns with higher volume. This is where the alchemical sequence matters. 3 stages that keep you honest. The 3 stages: darkening, clarifying, sealing. Stage 1 is darkening. You stop romanticizing. You name the split. Stage 2 is clarifying. You find the hidden sentence, the disowned pole, the real domain in waking life. Stage 3 is sealing. You prove the integration with a repeatable action. That's why the one question is so effective. It forces sealing. What is the smallest action that would make the dream unnecessary? That question automatically moves you into stage 3. And when stage 3 happens, something changes. You stop needing the dream to shout, because you're already listening. The symbolic anchor without magical thinking. One practical addition, clean and simple. Sometimes you need an anchor so you don't forget the new rule by morning. Not because objects have supernatural power, because attention needs handles. In older symbolic systems, people used colors, planetary archetypes, and stones as anchors for inner qualities. Boundaries, clarity, courage, integration. Used correctly, this is not superstition. It's memory design. If your dream is pushing boundaries and discernment, an anchor might be a deep, sober tone Saturn energy, structure, clean separation. No. If your dream is about emotional digestion, an anchor might be lunar, settling, feeling without drowning. If your dream is about commitment and embodiment, an anchor might be solar, decision, vitality. I will. Keep it minimal. One object, one association, one rule. The anchor isn't the work. The anchor reminds you of the work. And the work is always the same. A small action that proves ownership. The final reframe. If you remember one thing from this video, let it be this. Most dreams don't want your interpretation. They want your coherence. A dream repeats when a split remains active. A dream fades when you reclaim what you refuse to own. So the next time you wake up from a dream that sticks, don't ask, what does this mean? Ask the only question that matters. What is the smallest real-world action that would make this dream unnecessary? That's shadow work without therapy speak. That's Hermetic mechanics in plain language. And that's how a dream stops being a story and becomes a lever. If you want more work like this, clear, practical, and grounded, feel free to like and subscribe.